Hello and welcome back to another Brotato video. Today we are playing the Fisherman. We have boosted HP, harvesting for every bait we have. Shops always sell a bait and they only cost one material, but the baits make some lampreys spawn throughout all future waves, which means that we are going to have to fight the spawned special enemies, which are lampreys, for the entire run. They will spawn just like any other enemy and they will spawn every single wave. The more baits you have, the more true this is, the higher the frequency of the spawns gets. Okay? So, personally, I think there are quite a few weapons you can go with. You have a ton of damage percent though that you get from the baits, and you also have harvesting, a lot of it. So you do level up and get a lot of free stats. So personally, I think weapons like the slingshot with some bounce, or the crossbow with some piercing, for example, but this one less so because you need critical hit to trigger it. But things like the slingshot, the stick with high base damage, the laser gun with high base damage, all of these can work pretty well, in my opinion. Even the rock, 20 base damage can work quite well, but I do think ranged weapons are a little easier to maneuver with, so I will recommend that you go with the slingshot. The laser gun is also very good. The slingshot is a little bit slower to ramp up because you do only have 10 base damage, but that's kind of doubled since you do have bounces, and the more that you upgrade your slingshots, the more bounces you get. So you basically end up with a weapon which does a very good job of killing lots of small enemies. Otherwise, you struggle later on with all the small enemies coming at you. They can make it very difficult. Range damage is actually quite good with a slingshot, and only buying one bait is also my recommendation early on. I'm rolling for another slingshot. We have 3 of them now. I feel perfectly safe with this. And you just want to go near the edge of the map and make them all crash into it and then kite around the edge. And that is it. Very simple. You can see here, I'm just moving around the edge of the map. And they're done for. You see, it was very slow though. If you took 2 baits, you could technically handle it if you were very good with your movement and you played properly. But I want this to be replicable and easy to follow along. So I'm not going to say take 2, just take 1 bait in these early shops. It's perfectly fine. And I rolled to 1, looking for slingshots. I have 5 of them now. Very nice. Because shops 1 and 2 do give you a very high chance to find your weapons. Basically, whatever weapons you have equipped, you have a boosted chance or an increased chance of finding that weapon with the same weapon class and weapon set. So we have primitive weapons, so it's a lot easier for us to find more slingshots, which are copies of what we are holding, right? So that's why you really want to roll a lot in the early shops, especially shops 1 and 2, since you do always see 2 weapons in the first 2 shops. You will see 2 weapons and 2... sorry, let's skip crit chance. Yeah, range damage is very good. Skip again. Attack speed is good. Range damage. And now it's shop 3. See, we no longer only see 2 weapons every single shop. As you can see here, there's only 1 weapon. And we also have a bait every single shop. So, basically, shops 1 and 2, you should be looking for slingshots. Here, I'm going to buy this bait. We're going to have 2 here. But as long as I get another slingshot like this, perfect, we will be completely fine. You just need 6 slingshots, and then you can kind of handle 2 baits at a time. It can be difficult though, so if you feel like you can't handle it, you can always just do 1. You see I'm just going to kite around the edge of the map. And you see I can actually handle it pretty easily. I do want to make sure I'm not getting hit by too many projectiles, of course. And that's it. They're all cleared out. And we're dealing 18 per hit, and they are bouncing, so we're technically dealing 36 per hit at this point. Yes, the laser gun would deal more, but once we upgrade these slingshots, it's going to feel pretty good. And on top of the slingshots giving you some nice bounce damage, you also get the primitive bonus, which gives you max HP. So you see we have 35 max HP, 32% damage, so we really just want more attack speed and range damage. I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 of these baits again. Gentle Alien is not bad, but it's a little greedy. We should really just be rolling for more slingshots, exactly. And the Baby Gecko. I love the Baby Gecko. Baby Gecko actually has some... It's more validated when you are playing with slingshots, since your slingshots tend to kill things randomly across the map. The Baby Gecko will attract those materials from you, no matter how far they are. Or attract them for you, sorry. And you can see the lampreys just randomly spawning. Let's see, there's probably going to be one soon. Still not yet. You see, there's one lamprey. See, this does not happen on any other character, only on the Fisherman, because of our passive. Our passive makes it so that they continue to spawn throughout waves, not just at the start in a group, like every other character, right? You do have to be a little careful. Lampreys can spawn during just during the wave right throughout it and end up hurting you. So be careful. We do not need 12% damage. We really want other stats like attack speed. Perfect. Baby gecko, 1 bait, 2 baits, and that's it. No more baits. You can take more. I will say that it is definitely doable, but I don't want you guys, if you are just starting out, to try and push yourself that hard, because it's really unnecessary. You can easily win on Danger 5, Difficulty 5, doing exactly what I'm doing. You do not need to push and take 3, 4, 5 baits every single turn. It's really unnecessary. You can do that later when you're just trying to have fun, when you get used to the character, and you feel like you want to challenge yourself. You know, you'd be like, let's see how many baits I could take without dying. Well, I promise you, if you take 10 baits on wave 1, you're going to die. But you know, you can experience that for yourself after you win. So, yep, very simple, right? I'm just avoiding getting hit. Staying near the center. The most dangerous enemy is going to be the lamprey pretty much for the rest of the game. So when I see a lamprey, I just try to move out of its way and not get hit by the projectiles. Easy enough. Some speed can be nice, but I would prefer to have some tank. Okay, well, I was going to say attack speed, but I saw the 3 armor. Obviously, I'm going to take that. If you find a nice tier 3 upgrade, armor, speed, luck, harvesting, attack speed, any of these really, range damage, right? You can take any of them. And let's go ahead and keep taking these and upgrading our slingshots. I will start taking 3. I don't think I should take 4. 4 is pushing it. You really shouldn't take 4 unless you are more experienced. But if you're more experienced, you're probably not watching my guide on how to play the Fisherman, right? I assume. So you see, I take 3, and it's still pretty difficult. Look how much damage I ended up taking there. Almost 20. Okay, at the very end, I kind of looked away. That's why I got hit again. But I was checking my HP. Yeah, I took about 20 damage, even though I only had 3 baits. So if I took another one, it'd be even more difficult to maneuver and avoid getting hit. But like I said, it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. I think if I had a bit more damage, I would feel more comfortable doing it, or a bit more speed. I don't really have any speed percent currently, so it's a little bit difficult to run away and kite the enemies properly. But it isn't too difficult. Once you get through that beginning burst of lampreys at the beginning of the wave, you're pretty okay. Okay, we dropped the bait. Sure, we'll take it. And I don't really want to lose luck. I'm going to go ahead and skip that and take some speed. There we go. And attack speed. Perfect. So now I have 13 baits. Nothing too crazy. Just a couple of baits. Just a guy with his baits. And we definitely don't want to take the Vigilante Ring. This is a huge waste of your materials. Do not take this on this character. Go ahead and combine these slingshots. And you know what? I'm actually going to go to 15 baits. There we go. And the reason for that is that I have a lot of tier 3 weapons now. So I feel pretty comfortable doing this and just moving through all the projectiles easily. Right, there we go. But like I said, if you want to, if you're just a beginner, I'd recommend just doing 2 baits, at most 3, if you really want to try and experience it or, you know, improve. You can try and do 3 at a time. If you have the sort of setup I have where you have all tier 2 weapons, at that point, you know, around wave 8, 7, 8, and 9, you can start to take 3 baits per wave. I'd say fairly easily. You can maybe even do 4 as a limit, or I'd say 5 is doable as well. Anything more than 5, if you are not strong enough, you will definitely die. Because it is definitely a bit of a stat check, because the lampreys are pretty tanky, right? And the projectiles will kind of cut off your movement a lot. The more of them there are, the more true that becomes. I definitely want to get some more, yeah, range damage, perfect. And then buy some more baits. Okay, 16, 17, another slingshot, and 18. Also, the snail is great. Okay, reduces enemy movement speed. That means the lampreys are going to come at you a lot slower. I can actually try and take 5 baits here just to show you guys. Again, you don't have to do this. It's completely unnecessary. You're just going to put yourself in danger if I'm being honest. But I will show you guys what it looks like, right? You can see how many lampreys there are, and this is how you would maneuver through them. You drag them all into a big clump into the wall, and then you just kind of kite them around the edge of the map. Just like that. So 5, actually quite doable, because I do have really upgraded weapons, and I'm also quite tanky, right? 40 HP, I do have some armor as well, and I have some move speed, and I got the snail, which slows down enemies. That means all those lampreys are moving 8% slower than they should be. Look at it. Look how slow it is. Maybe it's difficult to tell, but you know, the more you play and the more you play with and without the snail, we'll see how the movement differs, right? So there are some things like that, which can make it a lot easier to fight more lampreys. And you can see how crazy our damage has gone at this point. We're using slingshots, they have a base damage of 10, and we're hitting for 49 to 57 every single hit, and it's bouncing multiple times throughout all the enemies and hitting everyone. More range damage is incredible. Same thing, small magazine, amazing. Anything that you can trade valuable stats for and only lose damage percent is great. So small magazine, right? The cake, also great, same thing. And let's go ahead and actually let's do 5 baits again, just so you guys can see what it looks like. It's also pretty fun, right? It's just taking more and more baits. Insanity is amazing. You only lose a tiny bit of damage percent. We have 193% damage, guys, okay? We do not need that. We can definitely take some crit chance in exchange for it. Yeah, we're going to start doing 5 baits a turn, just so you guys can see how out of hand it gets. Once you do get to the level where you can easily handle this, and you don't feel scared, or you feel like you're able to maneuver through all those lampreys. Once you get to that point, you're going to be able to get to some ridiculous damage numbers. And we can even switch to, if anything, this is recommended. Later game, once you have a ton of damage percent, you don't have to keep your slingshots. You can absolutely find a random legendary or really, really high base damage weapon in the late game and just switch one of your slingshots for it, right? I think I had an example of this in my entrepreneur video where I went really late game with, I think it was Steve Daggers, and then I bought an Excalibur, and the damage on that thing was insane. I think it was dealing 1300 damage per hit. So it's the same concept. We stack up early game. Slingshots are great early game, right? But if you find a random really high base damage weapon later, you can absolutely take that. But we don't want to take the Triangle of Power. Armor is great, just makes us a bit safer. And let's just go ahead and buy a bunch of these. A slingshot. Banner is great, attack speed and range. And one more bait. There we go, 30. So we're buying 5 per turn at this point. This is pretty much the limit though, in my opinion. Because more than this, and you're kind of wasting your materials. I don't think it's actually worth it at that point. You'd rather buy some other things like weapon upgrades, some good high value items like the magazine, the coffee, right? All those things I've been getting in my shops. And we are against the Rhino, by the way. You can see he moves like this. He just kind of charges through you and shoots out a bunch of projectiles. You do want to be a bit careful with that. You see I got hit because I went behind him for a second. And he does a sort of crisscross of projectiles. He's not like the Lampreys. Lampreys only shoot the projectiles in like this V shape. And they come out in 2 waves in the same direction. Yeah, our single target damage isn't the best quite yet. That's why it took a while to kill that Rhino. The Rhino boss. But it is getting there, because a lot of characters cannot really kill mini bosses on wave 11. It's very difficult for many characters. The Fisherman, it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. Ricochet, so this is another good example, something you can take. It's not necessary, because the slingshots already have built-in bounce, which upgrades as you upgrade them. So our tier 3s have 3 bounce, our tier 4s have 4 bounce. So we really don't need this. We would lose 25% damage, but it is a good example of something you could take, because we don't need damage percent, we have so much of it. But in this particular moment, I'm going for a lot of damage, so I really want that for the video, just because I think it'd be fun to watch, right? And fun to play. So I am going to continue taking as much damage as I can. Hedgehog is a good example of that. And more bait. We are going to get to 5 bait and stop again. Take some luck. Luck is great. Things like the propeller hat, the lost duck, and the shady potion are really good items that give you a lot of luck for very little drawback, right? We don't need elemental damage. And then the propeller hat, you lose damage percent, but again, that's pretty negligible on the Fisherman, because we have, you know, I don't even know what verb or what adjective or whatever to use to describe it. We have a ridiculous amount, right, of damage percent. Excessive amount, you could say, right? Excessive amount of damage percent. They can absolutely trade some of that off for other useful stats. And in the Shady Potion, you do lose HP regen, but I don't think it's a big deal. We don't really go for much HP regen or even lifesteal in this character. You definitely can take a bit of lifesteal, in my opinion, because you do have balances, right? And you see how our our slingshots are just hitting everything all across the map. So lifesteal becomes pretty effective when you do have upgraded slingshots. Harvesting, we don't need melee damage, of course. Let's look for range damage. There we go. Perfect. Immediately found it. This is going to give us a higher cap on our damage. Dangerous Bunny is great. Just a free reroll every turn. More bait. More bait. I could actually take more, by the way. So that's 6, 7, 8. Let's stop at 8 because it's a little expensive to reroll now. This is what 8 bait looks like. Okay, you're about to find out. It looks like a bunch of dead lampreys, basically. And you can see I'm just staying in the corner. At this point, I'm so strong with this damage percent. I can pretty much just sit in the corner and let them come at me, and they can't actually reach me because my slingshots just kill them. Because I'm nearly one-shotting the lampreys. And the lampreys are some of the tankiest non-boss enemies in the game. They have very good scaling. Their HP, damage, everything scales really well. So you can imagine how well we are scaling, right? Personally, if we're almost one-shotting them. I will say again though, you can definitely switch into and start taking, I'd say, about 3 baits, 3 to 4. Once you have at least a couple tier 3 slingshots, maybe 2 or 3 tier 3 slingshots, and once you get into, you know, waves 8, 9, 10, you can start taking 3 baits, more or less, yeah. After that, you can push the limits on your own, but I will say you don't really need that much. So it's definitely overkill. Range damage is way better than damage percent for us. We get so much damage percent already. We absolutely do not really need any more. Crit chance is great, and another slingshot. I'm going to stop here because this is an interval of 8, 48 bait, and we're just going to take 8 and 8 and 8 every single turn from now on after this. I could maybe get to 10, but it's that rerolls get really expensive, right? So it's definitely a little bit costly to try and keep rerolling for more baits. Okay. Easy enough again. Very nice. And yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say anymore, right? The run is pretty much over. That's it. That's the Fisherman. I do genuinely think the Fisherman is difficult to play because it kind of, when you're starting out, you don't really know how many baits you should be taking. You probably don't know which weapons are better than, you know, others. In this case, the reason the slingshot is so good is because the bounces, right? The weapon is hitting multiple enemies, and we have insane, like absolutely insane damage on our weapons to begin with. So if we're multiplying that by hitting multiple enemies, well, we are hitting very hard overall. Like our total damage is really, really good. Gonna get one more, that is 8. Yeah. But I can pretty much just sit here at this point. I don't want to because I could put myself in danger for no reason. I'm just gonna make sure all the lampreys are dead first. And look at the boss. We haven't even really targeted the boss and it's almost dead. This is by far, in my opinion, one of the hardest mini-bosses for a lot of characters. This is the mother, right? She does this in phase 3 and she spawns so many small enemies with her in this wave. Like there's a ton of small enemies spawning non-stop in this wave. But we are just making it look easy, right? So I do think the Fisherman is a very, very incredibly strong character. Or you could say Brotato. Very strong Brotato. He has some of the best damage scaling in the game. And I'd say the farther you get in the game, it kind of, technically it falls off, but it's just so strong no matter what, in my opinion. Like even later on, it's still very strong. So we don't really need 21%. And since the run is basically over, I am just going to take this. Normally I would skip these types of items because I know you guys won't always find this. This is technically lucky. It's a tier 4 item. We got it from the boss. But if you kill the boss, you'll get your own tier 4 item. It could be lots of things. Just look at the stats. Think about if you need it or not. In this case, this makes us tankier. We're going to win regardless. I'm just going to go ahead and take it. Recycle all this other stuff. Recycle, recycle, recycle. And I do want more range damage or crit chance. But I would like it to be tier 3. I mean, I don't really want armor. I actually just want more damage, but it's okay. I'll take it. 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and get this slingshot. 5. Luck. No, we don't need that, actually. This, another one of these. How much do we have? 62. Yeah, so we need 2 more baits. 1, 2. And the power generator. So this item, I praise it a lot. Because if you already have speed percent, around 20 is the cap. I generally say more than 20% speed is a little bit overkill. But if you had the power generator, you can take a bunch of speed and still be very happy. This usually only, it's not that good with melee weapons, of course, because you don't want to be that fast with melee weapons. It makes it hard to hit things properly. But with range weapons, you can kind of just kite enemies, and they'll stay within your effective range no matter what, for the most part. So having a ton of speed doesn't really hurt, and you just get more damage percent for free. So that is basically just a damage percent item on most characters, if you are taking speed. And for the Fisherman, that is definitely true. We are definitely happy to have, 20% speed, 30% speed, whatever. So having that convert and just give us additional damage percent for free is nice. We are critting for 414 on our tier 4 slingshot. Not that much. I've definitely had way more than that before. But it's because it's bouncing, right? The slingshot bounces, so it's not fair to say like, oh, the damage isn't that high. Well, it's hitting 5 enemies every single attack. Well, not exactly actually, because they're kind of all dead, so it doesn't really have any enemies to bounce to sometimes. But when it does bounce, it can bounce to hit up to 4 additional enemies. Okay, we would like some range damage. There we go, perfect. And one of these, oh, another baby gecko, nice. 2, small magazine is great. 3, all stuck is great. 4. Okay, we're kind of running out of 5, 6, 7, 8, and a tree, and a cake. Very nice. And I was like, we're running out of money, so we need to stop buying things other than baits. We just want to keep buying baits. And the boss is dead in 7 seconds. Wave 17, 7-second boss kill. Very nice. That is about as fast as it gets, I'd say. I don't know what my record is. It might be on video, but it also might have been something I did previously. I don't remember. I feel like I've probably had like a 3-second boss kill or something ridiculous. For the final wave, I've definitely had a 3-second boss kill, where I killed one boss in 3 seconds, I killed the other in 3 seconds. Something like that. I also don't remember which character it was, though. Might have been the entrepreneur or the saver. Not too sure. But yeah, easy enough. Baby Gecko's actually helping us a lot. He's picking up a lot of materials for us. I'm kind of being negligent and not really moving much and stuff. That's because I know the run's pretty much over, and there's no way I die at this point. We can go recycle that. Recycle that. Range damage. I definitely want range damage. There we go. Perfect. And this gives attack speed and crit chances. Amazing. It's going to help us kill the final boss. 1 bait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. So we should be at 80, correct? Yes. See, we have 80 baits. So you see, if you do take this path and you do take a lot of baits, you can get to be this strong relatively easily, and then you pretty much have nothing to worry about. You can almost just sit here in the center like I'm doing, and just let your character play itself. You can see we're also critting for 584 damage with our tier 4 slingshot. The tier 3 slingshots are only critting for 526, a little bit less. That's okay though. But yeah, very relaxing. So, how are you guys doing? Maybe you can leave a comment while we're sitting here enjoying this this AFK strategy. Leave a comment, maybe talk about your experience with the Fisherman, or why you clicked on my video. I also like to hear you guys' comments on that. Like, yeah, if you clicked on my video and didn't somehow get to it, automatically, if you did see it and you looked at it and you watched till now, please let me know why you clicked and what you enjoyed about it. Okay, easy enough. We're gonna skip the bandana. We just want to go for max damage now. Range damage, perfect. 1, 2. Oh, we got another slingshot. 3, another slingshot again. These also give us a lot of damage, but it's too expensive. Okay, we need to buy more baits. We need 4 more baits. And lock that. And one more baits. Yes, I have 87. Yeah, okay. 87, there we go. Can I get 100 baits? I think I'm gonna go for 100 because that would make an interesting thumbnail maybe. 100 baits. Sounds like a good idea. We're hitting for 700. We're pretty close to 1,000, but I don't think we're gonna be able to make it before the final wave, unfortunately. Okay. Very relaxing gameplay at this point. Not much to worry about anymore. I can pretty much just sit here. Okay, okay. I should probably go around and pick up materials. It is the final wave, technically, where I can actually spend stuff. We're going to have the last shop after this, so I will try to pick up as much as I can. So I can get to 100 baits, hopefully. I might just have to skip all of the items and stuff, because I need to... I think I want to get 100 baits, yeah, for the video. I do really like the Fisherman, by the way. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like I said, if you want to leave a comment, please do, and I'll make sure I read it. Yeah, I love the Fisherman. More damage percent. I mean, crit chance is just better. I don't want to roll. I want to get as many baits as possible. Okay. Here, let's see, 91, so I do need 9 more. Okay, let me use my mouse so it can be a little bit faster. Oh, whoops. Why is my mouse sensitivity weird? Oh, there we go. Okay. We'll lock this in case I want to get it. Okay. Okay. One more and 100. Perfect. And we can get some crit chance at the end. Alright, nice. Unfortunately, we couldn't get enough materials to get all of our slingshots upgraded. 100 baits and fully upgraded slingshots would have been great. But yeah, like I said, please leave a comment if you like, and please leave a like and subscribe if you did watch till this point in the video, because I really appreciate it. This should not take too long. It was a little slow because the slingshot damage is spreading out. But yeah, that's the run. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next time we will be... Well, actually, first of all, 782% damage percent. Yep, there you go. And we also had 100 baits. So yeah, that's the run. Next time we will be playing the Golem. So that will be the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, if you like, come back and watch the next video. That's it for now, okay? Goodbye. Bye-bye.